All right, so right now we have an issue with the whole third-party clients. I'm using RuneLite, one of the most controversial clients that has ever really been around, until obviously RuneLite Plus. If you guys don't know what RuneLite Plus is, it's basically RuneLite with the banned or removed plugins added onto it. Um, so pretty much it's like a cheat client because anything that gets removed from RuneLite is usually Jagex saying, "Hey, you're not allowed to use this plugin," so they remove it and they're asked to specifically remove it from their game or from their client and all that kind of stuff. But RuneLite Plus allows people to use those plugins, and they're very overpowered almost the entire amount of the time. Um, there's a lot of plugins I could go on and on about them, but some of the more controversial ones is the spellbook configuration, where you can make spells on your spellbook extremely large. That was actually pulled, which failed, and they added it as a plugin. There's also other ones on it, like left-click blackjacking and Zulrah helper, Jad helper. The list just goes on. There's an Infernal helper. Anyway, I don't use that client. I use the regular RuneLite client. The RuneLite Plus client is probably going to get you banned using it, so just probably don't use it. But it's very overpowered. Now, OSBuddy has kind of taken over the RuneLite Plus overpoweredness and took it to a whole new level in their most recent update this week. They've basically ruined every part of integrity about the game and skilling. But there's also apparently PvP updates that might be coming out. People are saying on Twitter, so I don't know. Like they might be even having like PvP things get ruined because of this. Anyway, basically what I'm trying to say is OSBuddy is basically kind of ruining the game right now. Hopefully Jagex just takes a stance on this, just removes all third-party clients. Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent about third-party clients existing. I just think that some of them are getting a little out of hand, like everyone else thinks as well. So right now, I'm going to just pull up really quick. There you go. So as you can see on the screen right now, that's Twitter. Thurko has posted this little GIF of him training construction using only left click. Now this is on OSBuddy, which is a paid client. However, these features are actually free. So he is basically being able just to press whatever keybind he has on his, like whatever it is to make the table. I think it's 6. And he can just left click on the spot to build and left click to remove. It's insanely overpowered. It just should not exist. It makes construction extremely easy, like low effort, everything. You just click through it. It's very easy. But that's not all. There's also left click bone offer onto altars, which you use in the wilderness, obviously, to save bones and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, you can just spam it and look at the kind of experience you can receive. It's insane. It was already overpowered that you could left click them bones onto the altar itself, but now you just have to one click on the altar itself, and that's it for 2 actions. There's more. That's not even the end of it. There's some funny little reactions people are saying to it. But Mod Ash actually has a little response right here. So someone asked him, why doesn't Jagex just ban all third-party clients? It's killing the game more than AHK ever did. And now that that's bannable offense, what's the go? Let me just pick up my heart clue. Mod Ash responded to him and said, I'm afraid I don't have an updated company stance on that to announce for you. Not that you would reasonably expect to get one from the content developers anyway. Basically, he's saying is he can't share any information because he has none to give. Mainly, he is a content developer, so that kind of gives him a little bit of a, like, obvious, like, he doesn't know everything about the game. Like, he's not the higher up. He just does the content developing. He's all that kind of stuff. But, yeah, so that's what he's responded to a few people about this kind of stuff. Right here, as you can see, this is left-click fire making. You just have to click on the log, and it's automatically a light option. Actually, that one I think is the one that got cut off a little bit here. Yeah, here it is. He's got another one. He's got a couple. The other one got cut off apparently. As you can see, he is left-clicking the logs and fire-making them without having to click the tinderbox, which you still have to have an inventory, of course, but you don't have to click on it. And then someone responded and said, at Jagex Ash, this is botting, my friend. To what Mod Ash responded with, however, this is not a support channel, so if you want to report someone, you might do better trying Jagex support. Basically saying that Jagex support would do something about this, but honestly, would they really? Because is it really a bannable offense? Because I was looking at earlier replies, and Matt from OSBuddy said that this was all okay with Jagex. They were okay with this entire update for all of the left clicking and everything. Now we have Kyle, RuneLite plus Kyle, a name that you probably know. You've probably heard of him. He is the owner of RuneLite Plus. RuneLite Plus, like I said, is just garbage client. It's just so overpowered, and you'll probably get banned using it, so just remember not to use it. But that's RuneLite Plus client. He's the owner of it. He's saying how they also added blackjacking as a left click, which is something that is on RuneLite Plus that people were very offended about. And then someone, Thurko, responded to him, look what you've done, Kyle. Don't hate the player, hate the game, was his response to that. And then Thurko said, I hate Jagex's lack of hard stance with what it is/isn't allowed. What you/others have added to clients was always going to happen without Jagex taking that step. Basically saying how Jagex hasn't really made any stances on RuneLite Plus, and RuneLite Plus kind of has made all these clients want to do more overpowered things because they're basically allowed to in a way. Kyle then responded and said, as I've said a million times, our features are nothing new. We just removed the paywall to use them and removed 2/3 of the underground paid clients. So apparently there was some underground paid clients that you could pay for and get the overpowered client that you'd have to pay for and all that. RuneLite Plus is free, so he's just saying like there's no paywall, like you can get all these for free. RuneLite already has done that, just it's not the overpowered plugins that aren't allowed because they go with what they're allowed to use, obviously. One thing we can't do is remove automated clients because we don't want to encounter bans. There are still more OP clients. Which is a whole new conversation in of itself, is that this entire thing is about RuneLite, RuneLite Plus, OSBuddy. But what Kyle is saying is there's a lot of underground overpowered clients that we may not know about and are just going under the radar and maybe even more overpowered than what we're experiencing right now. Which is just not good, because what we're experiencing right now is everything is basically being ruined. Experience rates, how easy this game is, and how basically it's just ruining the game for the most part, and how Jagex and the community just don't care enough about this. Some of the community does, but some of the community really wants to watch the game burn. Here's another one where someone posted a slippery slope, sad face, and they can left click cook crombones and hold 2 without having to use the crombones on the stove itself. They can just click on the stove. It's pretty insane. That is just crazy overpowered, actually, and that should not exist. None of these should exist, but this specifically should not exist. It's pretty overpowered. Here's more of the fire making left click. To what Ed at the Kel? I can't say his name. Ed responded to at Thurko with a pretty reasonable response. Okay, what the flying fuck is this? I would say that's probably the best response that I could have seen from anyone. So there you go. Liked that, buddy. Matt at Matt Sart7 has responded at Jagex Ash, not saying anything negative, just wanted to see these plugins. Dash said understood, and then he posted this. I'm afraid that while the staff higher up in the studio are preparing an updated stance on this stuff, I'd not be able to leak it before they're done writing it. As they've confirmed, they know that it's an urgent topic. Basically, what he is saying there is that currently they are already working on getting rid of these clients, either the overpowered ones or all of them altogether, and they are already trying to take steps on maybe getting rid of them or banning people using certain plugins. I'm not exactly sure. All that I do know is that he has now said this, and he can't leak much, but he can leak that they are working on it apparently, which is kind of, in a way, reassuring. And I'm going to like those. Very reassuring. OSBuddy trying to make moves. Is this bannable? 2 actions, 1 click? The answer to that is, unfortunately, I believe it's not bannable. And that is what the problem is currently. Let's just ban third-party clients altogether and work on making the vanilla client better. Now there's the main issue, is the vanilla client. If the vanilla client stays the way it is and they ban third-party clients, yes, there's going to be lots of problems. And I don't think the vanilla client really needs that much, to be completely honest with you. Honestly, I'm fine with playing on the vanilla client. Like, you have to play it when you play mobile and all this kind of stuff. Honestly, the vanilla client is not as bad as people say it is. However, I do believe certain plugins would be nice to be added, like ground overlays and maybe even, XP orbs and stuff like that that aren't overpowered. They're just nice. Anything that makes the game easier is better to be an update than a client feature. You can also just bot 24/7 without a ban with Runelight plugins, shit like NMZ especially. Now that I don't really agree with. Runelight plugins are obviously useful, and some of them are overpowered. Yes, I do agree that Runelight is overpowered, but it isn't as bad as Runelight Plus and these new OSBuddy plugins. There's just, the responses just go on and on and on. OSBuddy playing the old, if you can't beat them, join them, and that's precisely what they're doing. According to Matthew, in the OSB Discord, the JMods know about it already, and they knew about it pre-release. Which basically means that the JMods know about it, they let it happen, and they don't care, or there's nothing that they can do about it. Apparently, they had it in 2014. Maybe this will pressure the team / higher ups to finally make the statement we've been waiting on regarding third-party clients. I thought they were holding off until RuneFest to perhaps announce development of their own. Lack of communication sucks. Believe it or not, they are also working on PvP plugins. Freeze timers next patch, by the way. Basically stating that PvP will also be taking a hit from these third-party clients and making it so that the game is just basically broken for PvP, as it already is kind of being ruined as it comes to skilling. I remember when OSB brought it to their client, and it was almost immediately nerfed to Jagex. Yeah. So there's just a lot going on right now. A lot of people are laughing about it. A lot of people are mad about it. A lot of people are not happy. All third-party clients being banned incoming. Please and thank you, to be completely honest. But like I said, it would be nice if they added certain features to the vanilla client. Not too many, just enough of the basic ones to make it okay to ban them. Like I said, basically ground overlays is the only thing I really care about, but it is what it is. On my way, 99 prayer. Yeah, no one's like that. I wonder why. Yeah. Can you make a Theater of Blood plugin? My friends won't let me go to TOB without the Runelight one. And fuck Runelight, I'm not getting it. As Matthew from OSBuddy responded to him saying, we will. They're even planning to make TOB plugins. This is not good. And this is the... Excuse me. What the fuck? Oh, man. This is exactly... Okay, I can't show that. This is... Yeah. This is not good, and this should not exist in the game whatsoever. I really, really hope that something happens with this, and I really hope that Jagex either removes all third-party clients or just makes a very strong statement regarding what they can and cannot offer. I do believe that this is incredibly messed up, and I'm just gonna like all of the GIFs really quick, and I'll like that as well. Yeah. This is what happens when you can get double EXP rates, tick abusing, and normal people just want to have access to that without sweating. Of course, it would reach this point. I don't agree with that, and the reason why I don't agree with that is because, yes, you can get double experience rates with tick abusing, but that requires an intense amount of effort, and yes, people are lazy and everything, and I do agree with that part, but I do believe that people are not okay with these updates. Like, there's some people who are low levels who might be like, oh, I can very much so benefit off of these. But for the most part, honestly, I think more people are upset about this than are happy about it. But I do agree in a way. It's just really sad to see all of this happening. It's just really unfortunate. But at least, you know, Mod Ash, he's trying. He's messaging people. He's telling them what he can tell them. You know, Jagex, the developers of the game care about the game. You can tell. Mod Ash, he cares about the game. But it's the higher ups. It's the people who own Jagex. It's the CEOs. It's the company itself that are the ones that have to make the stand. It's not the content developer's fault in any way, shape, or form, unfortunately. Anyways, thank you guys for watching. I know this is just a ramble video, but I wanted to just talk about this a little bit, shed a little bit of light on it, and just talk about my opinions. My opinions are, I think third-party clients should be banned, personally. But yeah, you've probably seen this blowing up on Twitter, and if you haven't there, you've seen it now. Yeah, I might make more videos about this in the coming up future, depending on what happens with this. But yeah, just wanted to kind of shed some light on it and talk about my opinion, like I said, and I hope that this has brought a little bit more light to it. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.